afternoon. This meeting of the Caldwell County Board of Education called to order for the purpose of public comment. And as of this moment, we do not have any public comment. So we're going to recess until 6 o'clock, which is our normal meeting time. So do I hear a motion from the board that we recess till 6 o'clock?
I make a motion we recess till 6 o'clock.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We are recessed. We will start in about 15 minutes for our regular meeting. Thank you. and we're happy that you are here with us on this beautiful day in February. It seems like April. We've had such nice weather or warm weather all winter except for that one little period of time back in December. But this meeting of the Caldwell County Board of Education on February 13th, 2023 is called to order, and we are happy that you are here. First item is invitation for the board, and I'd like to call on fellow board member, Mr. B.J. Ford.
Thank you, Mr. Pittman. As I was thinking last night and today about the season and the fact that we had sleet and now we have summer, and it's just a wonderful place to live in, and I love it in North Carolina. And so this being the season of love, that's what my invocation is going to be about. Tomorrow's going to be Valentine's Day. I'm going to speak on love. In 1 Corinthians 13:13, the Bible says, "So now faith, hope, and love abide, these three, but the greatest is love." The Caldwell County school system shows acts of love on a daily basis. As I have toured schools and seen the great show of love that our employees show our children on a daily basis, I'm filled with great pride to be a part of this system. The following are just some examples I have seen of the love shown to our students. Teachers who are working hard to find innovative ways to deliver material so our children can be successful in their studies. Social workers who look after the needs of our family and children in our system. Cafeteria workers who are preparing and serving food and doing it with smiles. Custodians are working hard to keep the environment in our schools clean and safe. Art and music teachers providing a wealth of knowledge that will bring pleasure to our children throughout their lives. And when I hit that one in my mind, Burt Blackburn come to mind. He was my band director. And the things he taught me, I still find myself enjoying in the musics and the types of music I listen to today. Coaches supporting and teaching not only athletic skills, but life lessons and dedication and hard work and how that makes you successful in the things you do post-school. Principals who are the first to arrive and the last to leave on a daily basis to ensure that our children have all the tools necessary to be successful. And the list goes on. Volunteers who provide services that we just can't thank them enough for what they do. SROs for their safety and their presence on our campuses. Office personnel, data entry people, maintenance, they all play a part in the success of our children. And they do this with love. When you ask a dedicated educator, and when I say educator, I'm talking about all those people I've named, and there's more, the central office staff, you usually don't hear salary as the first thing they say. It's for a love of children and love in what they do. If we as a community could show that type of love to each other daily, can you imagine what this world would be like? We could make a change if we did that. The Bible said the greatest is love. So if you'll join me now in just a silent prayer to yourself and pray for guidance on the decisions we will make tonight and for peace and love in our world. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. Next item is our Pledge of Allegiance, and tonight we have three students from Davenport Elementary School. Gabriel Young Smith, 5th grader. Parents are Dylan and Julia Young Smith. Lily Deneen, 5th grader. Parents are Mike and Jennifer Deneen. And Maddox Craig, 5th grader. Parents are Brad and Brooke Craig. So if you'll stand, please.
Attention, salute, flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Gabriel, Lily, and Maddox for being with us this evening. We appreciate your leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda, which the board's had time to review. Do I hear a motion that we approve the agenda as presented?
Chairman Penn will make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion passes. Next item is the approval of minutes. And we have had 4 meetings. We're going to take one vote here shortly, but those are January 5th, work session minutes, January 9th, work session minutes. Also on January 9th, we had a regular board meeting on January 9th. And then on January 18th, we had work session minutes as well. So we have 4 sets. Is there a motion to approve January's 2023 board minutes? That would be from 5B to 5E in your agenda.
Chairman Pendle, I move that we approve board meeting minutes 5B through 5E as presented on our current agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, announcements. I'd like to recognize Vice Chairman Chris Becker.
Thank you, Chairman Pennell. First announcement, February the 24th is a professional development day. And February the 23rd, we'll be doing school visits, Kings Creek, Gateway, Dudley Shoals, and Dayton Elementary. March the 26th kicks off Kaleidoscope, annual showcase for student talent art. And Ms. Edwards has something she's going to show us.
Pat Triplett presented this afternoon. I think it's just lovely. And she wanted me to share with you that this year's, aren't the colors beautiful on the Kaleidoscope shirt? It was done by Averill Lee, who is a 12th grade art student at Highbright High School. Isn't that beautiful? And one of the things that we are out trying to do is to get as many of our groups as will to apply to be in Kaleidoscope this year, because it is a showcase of the art and music talent throughout our district, and we're so proud of all that happens with our students during Kaleidoscope. So I hope that your students are involved in looking forward to Kaleidoscope. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Edwards. A couple more announcements. March 7th, a work session beginning at 8 a.m. for the board, and then March 13th is our regular board meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Becker. Dr. Phipps, you have some additional announcements?
I do, Mr. Chairman, thank you. As we move into spring, there are a lot of fundraising activities, and I hope that you will think about what your level of support is and what you feel inclined to participate in and support some of the organizations that we have in our community. We'll be sharing more about that as we go further into the month of February and then into the month of March. But this week we have an event going on the 15th of February. Our local Smart Start organization will be at Chick-fil-A for a special Smart Start night. That'll be in Lenore from 5 to 8 p.m. So we hope if you're in that area, you'll come out and help support. We also have our Change for Children campaign going on. We have students that bring in change, which is a significant fundraiser for Robin's Nest. We've got the dates for that. That will be going on from the 21st of March until the 5th of April. We hope you participate in that. And then I'm proud to announce that at the state board meeting last week, we had formal approval of our online academy. So we'll be working on specific policies related to virtual education and some of the things that go on with the online academy. And just a final reminder this month that our transfer window is open until February the 28th. We ask everyone, even if they're currently on a transfer, to fill that paperwork out so that we have accurate information to let us know which school students are coming from and where they're going to, just so we can work on our allotment and information that we have to have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, next we have what I'm sure a good many of you have come for, and we are going to be recognizing students and other administrators and so forth, teachers. And I'd like to call on Mrs. Libby Brown, Director of Community Relations, and the board will move down to congratulate each of those winners.
Good evening, Board Chairman Pennell and Vice Chairman Becker, board members, and Dr. Phipps. So this is always a pleasure to gather together and recognize the extraordinary achievements of our students and faculty and staff. So before we begin, just let me preface by saying it's an optional planning day for most of our students. So I am just very impressed with the crowd that has gathered tonight. So thank you for parents for coming out, even though most of you had the day off today. So we are going to start with our character education program. And the character trait for last month, because we always do it for the previous month, is optimism. So optimism is characterized by hope and confidence in success and a positive future. So we'd like to recognize at the 3 levels, elementary, middle, and high, those students who have been selected as our character education students for optimism. We will begin at the elementary level, so congratulations to Alana Triplett, Gamewell Elementary School, and Principal Kathy Barlow is here with her. So feel better. We're very proud of you. And at the middle school level, our representative is Morgan Hensley from Hudson Middle School, and Katie Elliott is here. Morgan was not able to be here this evening, but Miss Elliott, if you'll come and get the certificate. So let's give a big round of applause. And the high school representative for the character trait of optimism is Caleb Smith from South Caldwell. And I'm not sure that I see that person. So let's just, thank you for showing up tonight. Yes.
Congratulations. Good job.
Next, we're going to recognize some extraordinary students who are Beta Club students at the high school level. And the North Carolina Senior Beta Club Convention was held last month in Greensboro. And we're going to start with High Brighton High School. And the advisor for the High Brighton High School Beta Club is Shauna Greeno. And Courtney Wright is principal. So if you'd like to come down first, and we'll greet your students who are here this evening. Tristan Evans, Jr., first place in creative writing. Madeline Erskine, freshman, first place science. Avery Harris, freshman, second place language arts. Miguel Franquez Garcia, senior, third place Spanish. Taylor Roberts, Jr., fourth place science. Addison Brookshire, freshman, fourth place freshman problem solving. Addison Garner, freshman, fourth place freshman problem solving. Avery Harris, freshman, fourth place freshman problem solving. Keegan Stiles, freshman, fourth place freshman problem solving. And Scarlett Marshall, I don't think these are here, but also Scarlett Marshall, who is also a freshman, fourth place freshman problem solving. What a great category. Let's get a picture of high writing first in front of the Board of Education members.
Wait, we got one other.
Go ahead.
I forgot to tell you, you can get up. You just sit. Okay, do we have all of our pictures? Okay, let's give them a round. Okay, South Caldwell High School. They have a tremendous Beta Club activity there at the school for years. We've recognized them. Jonathan Hass is the advisor. Rob Bliss, principal. So Jonathan, if you'd like to come forward. Brooke Palmer, senior, second in French. She is not here this evening, okay? Jessica Clura Bolanos, third in Spanish. Alexis Green, 12th grade, third in hand-drawn anime division 2. Okay. All right. Riley Murphy, I don't think Riley's here this evening, 11th grader, third in fiber arts division 2. Bailey Smith, a freshman. Bailey is here. Third in language arts. Brooke Palmer, also, she won 4th in musicology. Lainey Carpenter, a junior, 4th, okay, in musicology. Jake Holden, junior, he is here. Jake also received 4th in musicology. Landon Hines, freshman, 4th in musicology. Izzy Perkins, freshman, 4th in painting division. Beautiful piece of artwork. If you want to hold that up for everyone. Very good. Yes. And hold it up for the audience there, Izzy. If you... Emily Kuiker and Emily is this Quaker. Okay, Emily Quaker. Quaker, sophomore, 5th in language arts, and Samantha Chapman. Samantha is a sophomore, 5th in on-site painting division 1, and I think she was, yes. Very good. So talented, and all of our Beta students, the seniors, there's an inspiration to our junior Betas here. You have to have high academic performance, and it's also service to the community. So we're just very pleased and proud of these students. And we'll get a picture, so parents, you can stand up in the picture and get pictures.
Paintings.
Great job.
Now we get to recognize our junior Beta students at the Lee Shoals Elementary School. and they brought home many prizes too. So proud of you. We're cheering you on. Our advisors are Deborah Miller and Vicki Cornett. So if you'd like to come up, Deborah. Elementary School, so they're very proud of these students. We'll start with Clara Davis. Clara is a 5th grader and 5th grade creative writing winner. She's not here. Okay, Rayleigh Johnson. Is Rayleigh here this evening? So she's here. Rayleigh was 2nd in digital arts and also 3rd in mixed media, so she probably has 2 certificates in there.
Got one more for you.
Okay. And Emily Smith. Emily is a 5th grader for a 4th on on-site painting. Robbie Brigman, 5th grade for 3rd place, woodworking. So that's impressive. Okay. And I think you're waiting for the 5th place campaign skit. Had a very large group who won this honor. We'll start with, and I think that's all the other certificates there. So Olivia Smith.
Maybe she's the one who ran for vice president,
Yes,
which is
very good. She did run for vice president, and that takes a lot of courage. Colton Ruddy. So Colton is also part of the skit team. Rayleigh Johnson. So Rayleigh, if you want to circle back around, you get another certificate. Phoebe Pennell. Luke Anderson. Brantley Childers. Robbie Brigman. Emily Smith. Clara Davis. Bailey Rebus. Brianna Soros. Jordan Deal. Grace Wilson. Kaylin Foster. Okay. Paisley Banks. Paisley Pop. So you have a fine group here tonight, and I love the t-shirts, and this shows the camaraderie that you have in the team, and you brought back all of these honors for your school, Dudley Shoals Elementary, and you're getting them ready for Mr. Haas and Mrs. Greeno, so they're keeping their eye on you guys. They're looking forward to seeing you. Let's get in the front here, and let's take a picture with the school board. Let's give them a No. I'm gonna call you back. Okay, well, I do want to mention, because that's probably in your stack here, I'm just gonna call you up separately, but, also for this week, they won first place for trading pin, and 4th place for portfolio. All right, we're going to switch gears for a minute here, and we're going to talk about athletics. And we are very proud of this young person as she comes up. Marzaria, and they call her Ria. I slaughtered that completely? We'll call you Ria. Okay, that's what they call her. Raya. Okay, Raya. Raya Wright of West Caldwell High School. You've probably seen the post of Raya on our Caldwell County Schools Facebook page. But before we finish up, I want to call up Erin Annis, her athletic director. Is Erin here tonight? And also Coach, and then Coach Dana Smith. So these two they brought her to the championship ring with their excellent coaching. And Raya is 107 weight class, and Raya is the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Women's Invitational Champion in wrestling. Congratulations to you. We'll get a picture. And John Penline, come up please, because Don, no, we want you to come up. Miss Dr. Griffin could not be here, and Don is representing West Caldwell High School. So Don is the assistant principal, so thank you for being here representing West Caldwell. And you see these pictures we're taking, and we will post them on our website. Look under Board of Education, caldwellschools.com. Yes. So we're gonna change like a 180. Still competition, but it's a competition of words. Okay, so we are talking now. Middle school students competed with words at the annual Caldwell County School Spelling Bee, and after 12 rounds, winners were announced. So congratulations to, we're going to begin with 3rd place finisher, Axel Avila, Granite Falls Middle. I don't think Mr. Ackerman, he's here, but come on down for Axel. Principal Chris Ackerman. So let's give him a round of applause. 2nd place finisher, Aiden Stevens. Aiden's with the Caldwell Online Academy, and Principal Julie Hall is here to support. And winner, Ethan Morrison, who will be competing next month in the Regional Spelling Bee of North Carolina of Hudson Middle School, and Katie Elliott is his principal. So congratulations. So if we can get a picture, I promise them no spelling. Just stop. Okay, and we have one for the department recognition for Caldwell County Schools. We're very proud of this recognition. Mr. David Johnson, front and center. We are going to recognize the Caldwell County Schools Finance Department. So I want to read this because it's extremely important. They received the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting from the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada, and the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting by the Association of School Business Officials International, a prestigious annual recognition earned by the Caldwell County Finance Department, drum roll, for the last 19 years. And David, would you like for me to mention everyone who's in your department? Would you like for me to mention their names? Okay, it's my pleasure to do that. So the other team members of finance are Sarah Smith, internal auditor, Leslie Williams, payroll deduction specialist, Linda Young, payroll specialist, Jamie Setzer, accounts payable specialist, Lindsay Matthews, accounts payable specialist, and Michelle Britton, purchasing specialist. So they work so well together, and David is our assistant superintendent of financial services. So job well done. Yes. Congratulations.
Great job, David.
Now would be an appropriate time if you need to leave. We appreciate your attendance and being a part of our meeting tonight. Congratulations to all the students and the teachers. Have a good evening.
Let's get a picture.
She was like, okay.
We can give her a face.
Dr. Ellie. So Dr. Ellie already leave? Dr. Ellie? Yes. Does she already leave?
We thought it was a second. We actually thought we'd be early. Early on.
They're trying to catch her out in the hall, I think.
We thought we'd be the first
Her
one.
name is Morgan.
No,
She's the character ed student.
She's here.
There you are. That's awesome.
We wanted to get a picture of her. She got
Is that
the
my
times.
award for the
Yeah,
picture?
sorry. My child's in yours, so this one is yours.
Thank you.
So,
Let me hold that now.
Imagine.
Walk in here like you're coming.
Morgan Hensley. So Morgan is the character student of optimism for our middle schools in Caldwell County.
Right there.
That's fine.
You told her that they're gonna paste it, okay?
Last to leave.
I was like, oh no, what did I do?
Congratulations.
Now the fun stuff.
Next item on the agenda is Assistant Superintendent Dr. Bill Griffin for Human Resource Services.
Chairman Pennell, Vice Chair Becker, members of the board, Dr. Pitt, I have several items for you this evening. Subject A, human resources usual and customary informational items. These are only informational items for your pleasure in reading and examining those. Subject B, human resources usual and customary action items. These are contracts. I respectfully request a motion to approve human resources usual and customary action items contracts as presented this evening.
Do I hear a motion we approve human resource services usual customary action items as it relates to contracts?
I'll make the motion, Mr. Pennell.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, thank you very much. And finally, subject C, human resources, usual and customary personnel action items is our substitute list. Proud to say that we have 11 additional substitutes added to our pool. This actually puts us at over 300 active subs right now. We had a substitute class on Thursday to add 50 additional subs. So hopefully these jobs will be filled as we move forward. Respectfully request a motion to approve human resources usual and customary personnel action items of our substitute list as presented this evening.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the human resource usual and customary personnel items as it relates to the substitute list?
Chairman Pennell, I move we approve the substitute list as is presented here in this action.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Great, thank you. I'd like to recognize Audrey Lynn, who works as our substitute. She worked very hard in increasing these numbers and does a lot for us.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is Dr. Phipps.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Items 9A and B go together, but we're going to deal with them as separate items tonight. And I want to share certainly with our board and our public what these involve. The first one, 9A, is regarding the 2023-24 traditional school calendar as well as the calendar for the Applied Sciences Academy and Caldwell Early College. Sometime back, our board directed me and our staff to put together a calendar that had a start date of August the 14th, which is an early start date. And we put that out and got quite a bit of feedback from stakeholder groups. We had a work session last week, and our board heard a lot of the feedback and then asked me to put a calendar together that started on August the 28th. And the 28th calendar, we listened to the feedback that we heard from the other calendars and tried to incorporate that as much as possible. And one of the concerns I think that was prevalent in many places in many of the stakeholder groups was the fact that we were moving toward an early calendar, which meant that the summer break would be 2 weeks earlier. And we had not given any notice to individuals that make summer plans and things like that. We knew that could potentially be a problem. It turned out to be a concern raised by a number of folks with regards to family vacations and staff members who would not be able to come back as early. So our board asked me to put the calendar together that starts on the 28th. And that's what I'd like to present to you tonight, the calendar that has what we've called kind of an established calendar that's in place that starts on the first Monday closest to August the 26th. After we do that, there's some other comments that I'd like to have, if I could, for the other action item.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the 23-24 traditional school calendar as well as the Caldwell Applied Science Academy and Caldwell Early College High School calendar? Is there a motion?
Mr. Pennell, or Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, I've called you Mr. Pennell all night. I will make that motion that we approve the traditional calendar starting on the 28th. Also, I don't know if I need to do this together in a separate motion, probably separate, that we direct Dr. Fitz and his staff to go ahead and present us in the next month or two with the calendar with an early start date for the 24-25 school year. So I don't know if we need to split that up.
We'll do those separately, so
Okay.
we'll go with your first motion.
All right.
Okay, you heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any questions? Any comments?
So, Dr. Fitz, the feedback was they supported the early calendar, but delaying a year would help people with individual calendars challenges.
Many shared that. concern in the different stakeholder groups that we have.
The consideration of an earlier start is to provide more flexibility with the calendar, and it would allow for semesters that would be more equal. As we stand right now, the current calendar has 75 days in the first semester and 95 days in the second semester. That's a differential of 30 hours of instructional time. But the board feels like it is important to have exams before Christmas for a number of reasons. We need a calendar that aligns with the community college, simply because we have many students that would take advantage of that if the calendar is in line with when the community college starts back after Christmas. So we need a more flexible calendar for the good of all of our students, and we plan to do all that we can to move in that direction. Any other comments? Any questions?
We need more local control over our calendar.
Anything else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion passes.
As I mentioned earlier in the introduction of this topic, item 9B is related, and this is the request for our board to approve a resolution by the Caldwell County Board of Education supporting local control of school calendars. And again, right now in the General Assembly, public schools in North Carolina are not allowed to start school any earlier than the Monday closest to August the 26th, and we have to be out no later than the Friday closest to June the 11th. We have to provide all the state holidays, we have to provide 10 annual leave days, and when you take a look at how that breaks out with the late start, we have really unbalanced semesters. In fact, the current calendar that we have is a great example. We have 75 days in the first semester and 95 days in the second semester. And if instructional time means anything, and it certainly does in my mind, students, that's as much as a month difference in terms of instruction. We need to do a better job to balance that. It's difficult, if not impossible, to do with that such a late start date. Now, one option that some counties have looked at is to add minutes to the day and make a longer school day, because we're going after one of two things in terms of law. One is either 185 instructional days or 1,025 instructional hours. And some school districts have added time to their day, and they're able to hit the required number of hours in fewer number of days. I want to be careful that we don't send the wrong message and cut our calendar too short. That's a concern that I have. The other concern that folks need to be aware of is that we're also required to pay our staff members, our 10-month employees, for 215 days. And if we cut our calendar down to 160 or 165 or 170, we still have the same number of days that we have to pay staff. So we're paying staff for many days when students aren't here. So while we've yet to find a perfect calendar, we're trying to find the best calendar that we possibly can. And we feel like the only way to have the ability to do that is to have local control. And we certainly are working with Representative Hall, who's here with us tonight through the General Assembly, to see if we can get some relief and give us that control. In this resolution, and Vice Chairman Becker is going to read that so the public's aware of it, it's just simply stating what our concerns are, and then at the end asking for elected officials, and really we want anybody in the community to voice the support for us to have that local control. And for the record, our intent has never been to squeeze the summer away. Once we get this established, we have an early start to the summer, and the students and staff have the same amount of time. We're not trying to start the first year on the 15th of August and then go to the 10th and then ultimately on the 1st. We feel like a start date somewhere around the 15th would allow us to have that natural break before Christmas and also be aligned with the community college. There are a variety of reasons why we feel like that's worthwhile and beneficial to our students. But right now, we simply can't do it, because if we follow what the calendar law says, we don't have enough time to get wrapped up in the first semester like we should. So, Vice Chairman Becker, if you'll read that, just so the public has some awareness of what's in the resolution that I'm asking you to approve.
Guys, this is a little lengthy, which it's intentional, so we can make sure that all our points are across. So just bear with me as I read through this. Resolution by the Caldwell County Board of Education supporting local control of school calendars. Whereas the North Carolina law provides the Caldwell County Board of Education powers of supervision supervision, and control of the public schools located within Caldwell County. Whereas local control over establishing school calendars is an integral component of school system supervision and the administrative powers with which the Caldwell County Board of Education has been vested. Whereas in 2004, the North Carolina General Assembly set a statewide mandatory start and end date for all school districts, the school calendar law. Whereas the North Carolina General Assembly amended the school calendar law in 2012 to further restrict the starting date for schools. Whereas the mandated school start date is no earlier than the Monday closest to August 26th, and the end date is no later than the Friday closest to June 11th. Whereas the school calendar law resulted in school starting no earlier than August 29 for the 22-23 school year, and no earlier than August 28 for the 23-24 school year. Whereas a late August start date means the schools within Caldwell County are unable to complete the first semester in December without heavily unbalanced semesters. Whereas the school calendar law does not align with community college and university calendars, making it nearly impossible for high school students who graduate at the end of the first semester to enroll in college courses in January, because college courses start before or at the same time as high school students complete final exams. If the calendar is not created with heavily unbalanced semesters. Whereas exams for AP classes, advanced placement, are given on the same days nationwide, and the current calendar law shortens the amount of time that Caldwell County students have to learn the material and prepare prior to the exams. Whereas with the prescribed calendar and little flexibility, it is very difficult to schedule additional days such as parent-teacher conferences. Whereas with little flexibility built into the calendar, scheduling makeup days is extremely challenging. Whereas with little flexibility built into the calendar, scheduling work days and professional development during the school year for faculty and staff is almost impossible during the fall semester and remains challenging in the spring semester, despite the significant increase in areas which faculty and staff are required by law to receive training. Whereas fall sports and band programs have not changed to coincide with the state mandated school calendar, causing athletics, particularly football, softball's on my mind, sorry. Football and band events to occur before school begins. Whereas neither charter schools nor private schools are required to follow the school calendar law. Whereas allowing schools to start earlier in August will not impact the overall length of the summer break, as the school year will also end earlier. Whereas Caldwell County Schools stakeholders support a school calendar where the fall semester ends in December. Whereas local school boards are better equipped to understand the balancing act of meeting the community's needs and maximizing student success. Whereas restoring local control of school calendars will allow the Caldwell County Board of Education to meet the calendar preferences of Caldwell County families, educators, and businesses in our community, while allowing for innovative, experimental approaches to improve student achievement. And whereas on December 12, 2022, the North Carolina House Select Committee on an Education System for North Carolina's Future issued its finding that the current school calendar law is not best suited to the needs of students and educators, and that local school boards of education should be given greater calendar flexibility. The Select Committee recommended the General Assembly take action and change the school calendar law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Caldwell County Board of Education supports an amendment to the current school calendar law, providing local school boards more flexibility in the start date of the school calendar. And be it further resolved that the Caldwell County Board of Education is authorized to disseminate this resolution to members of the North Carolina legislature. The board encourages parents, students, and other community members to contact their North Carolina legislators to advocate for calendar flexibility. The board requests the Caldwell County Commissioners and other local governments within Caldwell County to lobby and advocate for calendar flexibility. Adopted by the Caldwell County Board of Education this 13th day of February 2023.
Thank you, Mr. Becker. That's quite lengthy there. Appreciate you doing that. That being the case, do I hear a motion that we approve the resolution by the Caldwell County Board of Education supporting local control of school calendars? Is there a motion to that effect?
Chairman Kendall, I move that we approve the resolution by the Caldwell County Board of Education supporting local control of school calendars.
Is there a second?
Second the motion.
Any other comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion passes. Okay.
Now, Mr. Ford, I think this is the time if you want to direct me to do something.
Yeah.
But I want to stress to the public and to parents in particular that what we're potentially talking about would be the 24-25 school
Right.
year. And there's no action taken tonight with regard to that calendar because that calendar does not presently exist.
No, and if it needs to be an emotion, I'll put it in motion that we direct Dr. Phipps and his staff to present us for consideration a early start school calendar for the year 24-25. That will help these parents and educators and everybody that's a stakeholder with a transition to that new start time if we're able to do that in 24-25. So that would be my motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. We'll get busy on that and be able to share that hopefully very soon.
Thank
My
you.
last,
Thank you for the work that you and your staff have done.
it's certainly worth it. We hope we can see some results. Item 9C for me is just a proposed interim position, and Leanne Fry is here. What I'd like to request for the board is approval for Leanne to move into the interim role, carrying out her current duties of Director of High School Education, but also taking on the responsibilities that are now there because of the retirement of Craig Bryson. We want to thank Craig for his work as a Director of Assessment and Accountability. That position may be tweaked a little bit between now and the time that we actually do an advertisement, but we've talked with Leanne. Leanne's worked very, very closely with Craig with the testing and a lot of the work that needs to be done. And we'd like to ask that she be given the interim title, and then we'll advertise somewhere in the March, April timeframe, and then have a permanent replacement that would start when the fiscal year starts on 1st of July. So this is just a request for approval to name Leanne interim director in addition to her current duties of the Assessment and Accountability Department.
Okay, do I hear a motion that we approve Leanne Fry as interim testing and accountability director for the remainder of the 2022-2023 school year?
Chairman Penn, I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Phipps. Next item on the agenda is for the board to go into closed session. Do I hear a motion from the board to convene to closed session?
I move to be closed session.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion passes. Back from closed session, and we don't have any additional business. Do I hear a motion we adjourn?
I make a motion we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion passes. We are adjourned. Cut tape.
Kill them all.